All right, good morning. And so today we are going to talk about Mercari as you ride with me. A couple weeks ago I did a video starting on Poshmark. That's one of the three main sites that I sell on, and Poshmark is the easiest, so I'm going easiest to hardest. So we're in the middle one right now, and that is Mercari. Mercari's not that hard, but it's harder than eBay. So let's do a little recap. You can sell pretty much anything on Mercari. The one thing that you can't do is sell multiples of items. So if you have like 4 pairs of the same pants, same size, everything, you can't put that on Mercari, okay? You can only sell one at a time. But other than that, really anything that you can sell it on Mercari. And Mercari has more detailed and it seems like a lot more options to sell than, well, not than Poshmark, but more specific. For instance, they have collectibles and vintage and antique, those type of things, whereas Poshmark doesn't really make it specific if something is, say, vintage, okay, or an antique. You can still sell it on there, but you just have to put that in your title or whatever for somebody to understand that. But Mercari does have categories for that. So you can sell just about anything. You always want to make sure that you have lots of good pictures, front, back, top, bottom, side, tags, maker's marks. There's a stray dog. All the important information that anybody would want to look at when they're going to purchase something, including condition. You want to make sure that you identify if it's used or new, and any defects that it might have, if it's chipped or stained or has a tear, anything that might be wrong with it. You want to make sure that you get a picture, and you want to also note that in your description, okay? That's basic across all platforms, regardless of where you want to sell something. You always want to disclose any kind of defects or flaws, okay? And you want to have good pictures. You also want to include your measurements, top, side, bottom, across. I do flat lay measurements on my clothing, so from pit to pit, or I write on there the waist. So if it's really a 30-inch waist, I'll put 15 waist flat lay. That's what I put, so that hopefully the buyer will understand that you have to double that, okay? And of course the measurement's going to vary depending on what it is that you're selling. So the hardest thing about Mercari is the shipping, and it's not that hard. Really, shipping's not that hard. They make it pretty easy for you. If you have the weight and the size of the box or the bag or poly mailer or whatever it is that you're shipping your item in, then you can easily figure out what the best shipping option is. So for your weight, this is the one time when there's 2 things actually that you would need to buy or have to start selling on Mercari. And one is a tape measure or a measuring stick or some kind of ruler, something to show the measurements, which I think you need that for Poshmark too, and you definitely need it for eBay. And the second thing is a scale, because you do need to know how much it weighs. And once you know the weight and the dimensions, when you put that into the fields in the Mercari app, when you get to the shipping, you'll do a drop down, and it's going to show you all the different shipping options, which for me, the ones that I have seen, of course, is USPS, UPS, and FedEx. And of course, we know that USPS has a very broad spectrum of different shipping options, and that's where things I think get really confusing for people. So with Mercari, when you hit that drop down, it's going to show you what options are applicable according to the measurements and the weight that you put in, and you can choose the best option. I personally usually go with the cheapest option for the buyer, which could be USPS. They don't have first class anymore. They call it Ground Advantage. That's typically what I use because most of what I sell is under a pound. But on occasion, it may come up that it's cheaper to go with UPS, or it may be cheaper to go USPS Priority, or it may be cheaper to go FedEx. And I use FedEx. I know a lot of sellers stay away from FedEx because they don't have a drop-off location near them. But here's a little bonus tip. Check and see if some of your local stores do FedEx drop-off. For instance, I take mine to the Walgreens near my house. They have a FedEx drop-off. I take it in after I've printed the label off. They scan it, they send me a text, and there we go. It's ready to go. So, FedEx is an option, and depending on where you live, because I know some people are more remote and it's harder, but FedEx will come and not pick it up, but will deliver your items, and you can sometimes give the buyer a really huge savings in shipping by using that option. Plus, I think FedEx is a little bit faster sometimes than some of the others. So that's the shipping thing. Now, there's been some recent changes with Mercari that I want to go over, and that is the selling fees. So prior to this announcement, where the sellers actually don't have any selling fees, they were doing a lot of promotions on the things that I watch, so YouTube and Hulu mostly, encouraging people to sell their stuff on Mercari, and that is because they don't have selling fees. What they have done is they have transferred those fees to the buyer. Now, there was a big uproar in the community, afraid that people were going to stop buying, but I'll be honest with you, I didn't change anything. I didn't go in and adjust my prices, at least not for that reason, because I do periodically adjust my prices just depending on what the market is doing for that particular specific item. But I didn't go and change my whole however many listings I have in my Mercari store. I just left things as they were, and as time goes on and I'm relisting, because I do relist on Mercari just like I do on eBay and Poshmark, I may adjust the price then. But the selling fee have now been transferred to the buyer. What I have noticed, because at about the same time I kind of buckled down, hence these videos, right, on what I'm doing with my Mercari store and all of my stores really, but setting myself goals and being more conscious of consistently listing and relisting. So in truth, Mercari is not my biggest producer as far as how many things I sell, but I am noticing that I'm still having fairly regular sales for Mercari in and of itself. So I do sell less on Mercari than I do on Poshmark or eBay, but my Mercari sales have not dropped because of this new policy. The other thing that has changed with Mercari is now once you have a balance, of course you can reinvest it in Mercari and buy something there, or you can have it deposited into your bank account, and they are now charging a $2 fee. And that $2 fee does not matter how much your balance is. This is just a straight flat $2. So personally, what I have done, I've decided that, $2 would be a lot. If I had a minimum balance, say of like $10, they'd take $2, that's 20%. I wait until I have at least $20 in there. For me, that's what I have to do. If you talk to other or listen to other sellers on any of these platforms where they're doing videos as well, some of them wait till they have a larger balance and then they get it, you know. That's all very individual and personal. Right now, for me, I want my deposits more frequently, but I don't want them taking, you know, a huge bite out of what I'm selling. So, because Mercari is not a big earner for me, I do wait until my balance has reached, for me it's $20. I wait till it's up to $20 because then it's only 10%, which I figure would be about what I would have paid in my seller fees prior to this change. So, you know, that's what works for me as far as that goes. And really, people are still buying. You know, I think some people have a preference over one site or another, and there are just some hardcore Mercari buyers, and Mercari, I think, is trying to get to be a little bit more competitive. One of the other things about Mercari that I like is that it's a lot easier to see on Mercari how many people are viewing your items. So when you go in and you look at your listings, you'll see, I think it's a heart and an eye, and I will tell you how many people have viewed it. The other important thing about Mercari is you want to make sure that you're sending out offers. So you'll get a notification in your Mercari app. It looks like a little letter or something like that down at the bottom, that icon, and you want to click on that, and you'll get a list of different kinds of notifications. Sometimes it's events that they have going on, or that you have a balance or whatever, but mostly it's this person liked this item, and when you click on that item, it'll bring up the item with the pictures and all that, and it'll say promote, and you want to click on promote, and it'll bring up a dollar amount, and I think it's 10% that it takes off, and I just leave it at the 10%. I don't change it. You could if you wanted to, but I don't. And then you hit done, and then another window will pop up, and it'll say send offers. And what happens is, over time, so let's just say when you first listed it, the first person, you sent them an offer and it was 10%. As time goes on and more people like it, every time you send out a new offer, it goes down, you know, the offer amount goes down. So the first person may get notifications as time goes on that, you know, you've offered, say, $20, then $18, then $16, whereas the most recent liker will send down, you know, their first notification or offer may be that $16. So it gets more competitive as your item gets more and more likes. So there's that. I think that the offers help. What I do with offers across the board, all of my platforms, and I can get more specific because I have a strategy with Poshmark. So if you're interested in that, just say Poshmark strategy in the comments, and I'll do a video on that. But with the Mercari or Poshmark or eBay, as soon as I get a notification, well, maybe not that very minute, unless I happen to be working on my computer or have my phone available, but throughout the day, when I go in and I check to see what's going on, if I see that there's people who are interested, I send offers that day. I don't let it wait, because with the things that I sell, they're really just bread and butter items. I don't have, most of the time, anything that's particularly spectacular or in high demand or all that valuable, you know, those kind of things. I sell average things just to make a little money, you know, and so I'm pretty quick to send my offers, because I figure there's somebody else out there probably selling the same thing or something very similar, and I don't want my buyer to feel like I'm not paying attention to them and go buy from somebody else. So that's why I'm really quick with the offers. So anyway, that's my tips and tricks for getting started with Mercari. I hope that you found this valuable. I'm going to tune out, and in about a week or so I'm going to give you one on eBay. And thank you so much for all of the encouragement that you guys give me, your likes, your comments, your questions. And please don't forget to subscribe if you need more information and you want to learn more about it. Also, in my descriptions, you'll be able to find my links to my Facebook pages, my Instagram, my eBay store, my Mercari store, and my Poshmark store. So y'all have a good day now. Bye.